In this giant box in front of me is the brand new Acer Chromebook Plus 516. Now, that model name might sound familiar to you, and it should. We've reviewed and talked a lot about the Acer Chromebook Plus 516 GE that is basically right here in front of me. This isn't the Plus branded one, but it's basically the same thing. And so when Acer announced this device, I got pretty excited because I love the 516 GE series. So the question is this new, slightly more affordable version of the Chromebook Plus 516 as good as these gaming edition versions? Let's jump in the box and find out. All right, so let's take this guy to the side for now. And let me check on my specs real fast before. So yeah, the listing for this showed up on Best Buy just yesterday, and it is $479. And this is the 8128 version with the Core 3 1315U processor. So, I mean, pretty quickly, when we start talking about the similarities between this and the existing Acer Chromebook Acer Chromebook Plus 516, on paper, it's really compelling to start thinking like, oh, well, I mean, if this one's a little bit cheaper, because I mean, the one I started the video off talking about is $649 unless it's on sale, and so this one's starting at $479. That's getting close to $200 less, just like all the time, without it being on sale. So it also comes with a 16:10 display. It's obviously a 16-inch display as well, and so there's some similarities here. So I'm really interested to see kind of what Acer's done, particularly with this new device from that front. Now I don't expect it to be exactly as good as the GE, just based on price point alone. But if it gets close, I mean, I know it does have a 300-nit screen too, so I'm excited about that. And I also verified that the Best Buy listing for this thing also comes with this case. So just a nice little touch. It's pretty standard Acer fare here. One pocket up front, a nice lined pocket in the middle, and if you don't want to take a big bag out with you, it's a way to kind of protect your device. It's going to fit it very well. We'll set that to the side for now and actually get in to the box here. Sorry if this is blocking. It's a big Chromebook. Go. And yeah, standard packaging fare here. Set this guy down. Yeah, pretty standard charging brick here. So nothing out of the ordinary there. Let's get to the Acer Chromebook Plus 516. Now this looks more like an Acer Chromebook than this one does. This device kind of always had its own unique aesthetic. You don't have the big swoop along the side like you see with lots of Acer devices. This one has the kind of standard Acer swoop, curved back, all that kind of stuff. So harkens back to what a lot of Acer Chromebooks look like. I'm pretty sure I'll look this up. Yeah, those are the exact same weight. So 3.25 pounds, or 3.75 pounds, I'm sorry. So not wildly heavy. I mean, it's substantial. Lid closed, it's nice and firm, but definitely all plastic here. So no aluminum going on. And down the bottom here, we've got fan ports, but no speaker ports because we have upward firing speakers here. Let's look at ports, 2 USB Type-Cs, a Type A headphone microphone. On the other side, full-size HDMI. I did see this is a 1.4, but because this is a 1080p device, we'll have to check that for the review to see if we can get Quad HD 120 hertz out to my monitor. A lot of HDMI 1.4s won't do that, which is kind of unfortunate. USB here, and then Kensington lock. So decent array of ports. Pretty easy to get this thing connected, but I want to see what this bad boy looks like open. So yeah, I mean, this just, it feels like an Acer Chromebook, you know what I'm saying? Pretty sturdy on the bottom. So I can kind of hold it there without a ton of deflection. You're probably seeing a little bit on camera, a little bit of deflection there, but not a ton. It does not feel flimsy, but it doesn't feel quite as firm as the 516 GE. Ocean glass trackpad definitely here, which I have no complaints about. Acer's been doing that for quite some time, and they're good. Click mechanism is really nice. Keyboard feels solid, and I forgot about this. you actually get the new updated keyboard. So the keyboard that was introduced last fall with the Samsung Galaxy Chromebook Plus, you're getting those types of keys up here. So your accessibility features like, being able to dictate text. There's a button for that up here, play, pause, mic on and off, all that kind of stuff. But you've got the quick insert key over here and the launcher key down here. So when Samsung put that on theirs, I immediately turned this back to my launcher key and made this like, every time. You'd think after all these years, I would realize that's going to pop up. But the launcher key's now down here, quick insert. I swapped those just because other keyboards I use, other Chromebooks didn't have it yet. But it looks like we're going to start seeing Chromebooks with this new setup. Time might be here for me to start changing my habits. So, but yeah, you get a very tiny numeric keypad over here. So this reminds me, like spacing wise, of the Samsung Galaxy Chromebook as well. So really tiny. But it looks like the enter key. No, the enter key should be over here. You should have like enter, I think, and plus, and a big line over here for, like an old school standard numeric keypad. You don't have that. Plus and minuses up here. So if you're getting this for the numeric keypad, you're like, hey, I'm gonna like get crazy with spreadsheets. That's not going to happen with this. This is more for punching in some quick numbers, maybe doing your PIN when you log in, that kind of stuff. It doesn't appear. Let me check. Yeah, so no keyboard backlight, no touchscreen. So keep that in mind with this. Again, with the 516 GE, there was no touchscreen either, but you are getting a 16-inch. 16 by 10, so taller aspect ratio. The screen size and dimensions are the exact same as the GE, so the gaming edition. The difference here is this is 1080p plus, so now it's 1920 by 1200 versus the Quad HD version, which is 2560 by 1600. So we'll have to, once we get in here and look at it, I'll tell you what that looks like. 16 inches is a big display for full HD. So I'm curious if it's going to have a little bit of pixelization, but we'll get into that in just a second. We have upward facing speakers here, so I'm hopeful that those sound good. Again, big spacious ocean glass trackpad. And yeah, so you're looking at it. Let me get logged in, do my normal quick test real quick, and then we'll talk about some speakers. We'll talk about the keyboard. We'll talk about the screen and the brightness and stuff like that, and we'll take a look at that camera as well. I'm pretty sure it's just a standard 1080p. I do like, before I cut away to do that, I like that the privacy slider is like right up there in the front versus like sliding on top. It's just nice to have that out of the way when you go to lift the lid. That's a small thing, but I do like that positioning. So let me get logged in and we'll check out some of this stuff. All right, got everything all set up and we're in here. And I'll say right off the bat, I'm happy with the keyboard. It's the key shapes feel a little different than standard Acer Chromebook. For some reason, almost like, I don't know, maybe the rounding or the spacing's a little different, but nice and clicky, nice and quiet. So you can kind of hear those keys here. They have a really good tactile feedback, plenty of travel on them, so A+ there. And again, all of the accessibility buttons and features there. I immediately went to go launch the camera so I can show it to you and hit the where the launcher button normally is. And so obviously, your quick insert pops up. And so that's just one of those things. Like you can remap it. It's very easy. Chrominbox.com. We've got a guide on how to do that. But I'm trying to decide if that's going to be something I'm going to change my habits on or not. I haven't really found like the killer use case for quick insert just yet. So yeah, that remains to be seen, but it seems like we're going to see more of these keyboards coming out. So let me give you a quick listen to these speakers. We kind of get into very fine details over there. But there's one story that's kind of been developing over the last few months that I think T81, it promises some of you guys about it. A bit of backstory. Yeah, it's a bummer. Those speakers sound like this, as if I were talking kind of into some sort of can. And it's a bit unfortunate, especially with upward firing speakers that take up this much real estate on the deck of the device. Yeah, I just expect a little bit more than that. They don't have to like knock my socks off or anything, but if they're going to be prominently displayed, like put some better speaker drivers in there. Those are not good. Again, not a deal breaker, I guess, but just really kind of a bummer, especially when you compare them to the 516 GE. Those speakers, again, aren't like mind-blowing. They're decently loud and full, and they don't have to be the loudest thing. They just need some low end and a little bit of high end, not just all mids. And that's just kind of what those sound like. So a little bit of a bummer there. But on the positive notes, the screen is very bright. It's got a pretty heavy anti-glare coating on it, and you can see in this layout here. The other thing I'm noticing is like text doesn't look fuzzy or blurry. It doesn't feel ultra pixelated. Like I don't have a hard time reading these really tiny text areas. It doesn't feel as sharp as Quad HD, but it shouldn't. At 16 inches though, I would say this is like the limit for 1080p in a laptop. Like you wouldn't want to go to like a 17.3 inch 1080p screen. You're going to really start seeing pixels there. This is pushing it. Like it's really pushing it. But I think you can get away with it here. So the brightness is very good. The anti-glare looks really good. So I think it's a decent screen for sure. I think you're not going to really have any problems working from it. You're just not going to have quite as much like screen real estate when it comes down to actually getting stuff done like side by side. Because I can crank this Quad HD down a little bit, make things a little bit finer on the screen, but give myself more space to move things. Not going to be the case here, but ultimately when you look at the actual resolution you're working at, so like I need to scale this up a little bit, you know, so that everything's not so tiny. And I'm going to do the same thing with Quad HD as well. I'm not running these both at their native resolutions. And when you look at them side by side, you're running them kind of sort of at the same resolution, which is a little above 1080p, even on the Quad HD. So you're scaling this one up, you know, the elements up, and this one you're scaling elements down just a little bit. I went to 90% of the full scaling here. So the other thing is the camera. I want to show you that real quick. Let me pull that up. It is 1080p, verified that, but one nag I had with both 516 GEs is the camera isn't great. It always kind of looked a little fuzzy, and even under our lighting in here, it never looked great. This one, like the dynamic range looks really good. I can see everything around me, and so now I'm gonna point it over at Joe. And again, we do this all the time, but over there it's not really that bright. You got a lot of light flooding here and not a lot of light there, and you can see Joe and the camera, and things are clear and not all fuzzed out and stuff. So again, you know, these devices need to be good at video calls. That's what these speakers are tuned to as well. Like that mid range is for clear spoken audio, and so it's going to do well on like on Google Meet calls and Zoom calls and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, overall, there's some good stuff and some not so great stuff here. It's going to be really interesting to see how often this one goes on sale versus that new updated 515, because it's not that different from that device. Like I feel like the 516 GE is this much different, much more differentiated Chromebook than the 515. 516 isn't that much different than the 515. It just has a taller display really, and it's larger because obviously it's 16 inches and then it's taller as well. So definitely going to have to be using this for a little bit to kind of give a full review on it. Want to see how the HDMI works and how it does pushing around my external monitor. But you know, 13th, 14th gen i3, the i3, it's 13, 15U, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. We know that's going to perform. It's only pushing a 1080p screen here, so I think performance-wise, it's going to be good. It's just going to come down to like, how's that keyboard trackpad work out? What's this thing like when I take it down to the coffee shop or whatever and use it? How's it fare with, you know, more sunny seating area, all that kind of stuff? But I think it's going to do okay. And if it goes on sale on a regular basis and it's like $350, something like that, or $375, I think this becomes a pretty compelling option up against the 515, but it's a tad bit of a confusing move from Acer because, again, I feel like this size form factor is already kind of filled with the existing 516 GE. But that's it for this one. If you like this video, guys, give us a thumbs up. Head down there, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Until next time, we'll see you.